We came up with a plan for urban forestry in the Jody community. And basically, our plan is to remove some of the ash trees in these areas so that we can sell them while they're still profitable. Also, in these areas, along the pathway that we have, we would open up some restaurants and shops, and we would build a playground. And both the playground and the restaurants and shops will have to include the ash trees in their design. We would leave some of the trees up in these areas to help replenish the nutrients in the soil and prevent flooding in downtown Jody. We would create two groups after all of this happened, and one of the groups would be to go out and remove these invasive species, and the other group will be to go and plant saplings of these native species that will help replenish our forests.
Okay. And one of the questions that would pop up as a obvious concern is staff. How would we get a project team or job titles that we would need to require for maintenance work? Well, actually building things too. But we would need a forester to obviously have the knowledge of ecology to give us the idea of tree value and what we should plant and what we shouldn't plant. And we would need a community volunteer manager to not only find pay workers but volunteers, and we would need an architect to help us build the restaurants and economy stimulated buildings.
To make this less cost effective, we would be selling the trees, as I said earlier, to help make money back into the economy. But also with the buildings and the playgrounds that we have, we would make them out of ash trees instead of importing materials into Jody, which would cost more money.
One question that you may be wondering about is, what is an urban forest management plan, and why is it important? Well, the plan is basically to manage an enclosed area in a community, like a forest or a park, with high human control and impact. It's important because if we didn't manage the forests, it could be urbanized, and then there wouldn't be any nature left for people to enjoy. And then there would be less of a natural environment.
Some other benefits of the emerald belt trees, it would reduce air and noise pollution, prevent flooding along the banks of the river, increase property value. It would also rebuild animal habitats and increase the soil quality.
Some of the threats that we would have with all of these ash trees is the emerald ash borer, which is the main thing that is killing them. It doesn't just target the ashes in the emerald ash belt, it targets all ash species. So it could be a mass extinction if not put under control. And an invasive species, as little bottom here, not only trees but small bushes too, also may take over the native areas after the ash trees have died, which they spread very quickly and they're very, very unattractive plants, so I don't think anybody wants those.
Some of the costs for maintaining the emerald belt trees would be, in the parks, would be replanting trees, removing dead and invasive species, along with trash, trimming the trees and keeping up with that, building upkeep, park rangers, and things like repainting playgrounds. Be there.
We formed our plan around many of the interests and concerns of the citizen groups in the community. We came up with our ideas to build restaurant and shops to boost the economy, also keep some of the trees to keep minerals and nutrients in the soil, and also plant new and get rid of some of the trees so that we could sell them and make money for the upkeep and maintenance of the park. and also playgrounds to have places for kids to go and stuff. The main business groups that we worked around in the community were the Jody Business Bureau. They focused on the economy and they wanted to build shopping places and restaurants for people to go to. The Wild Nature Coalition wanted it to be a natural process and for the trees to decompose and go back into the soil and put nutrients back into the soil. The Jody parents wanted there to be playgrounds definitely part of the park. That's why we incorporated that, so that the kids would have places to go and not get in trouble. And then the Emerald Belt homeowners, they were worried about their property value, so we wanted to make sure that we didn't urbanize the park too much and that there were still places that were natural so that their property value wouldn't go down.
The benefits outweigh the cost. We've incorporated parts from each group to make people in the community happy. We have the playgrounds and have some shops and restaurants, and those are in the park so people can look at the nature while they're eating, and that would keep them happy. And there's the parks for the kids to go to, so that would have something for them to do so they're happy and not just in city all the time.
It is proven that most people who live in downtown areas or in cities, their life happiness significantly improves when they have greenery, trees and stuff like that to look at on a regular basis.
And that's basically our plan.